and welcome to another Humble Experience. I'm Heather, and today what we're going to be making is a very elegant dessert, but pretty easy to make. It's called a cherry and peach galette, which basically is just cherries with the peaches in a puff pastry. It looks elegant, a little bit rustic, and it's delicious. You'll get rave reviews if you make this dessert. So let's get started going through the ingredients. Okay, we're going to be using both sheets of some pre-made puff pastry. I have a half a cup of sugar, 1/4 teaspoon of ground allspice, 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. I have 1 tablespoon of butter, and I just cubed it up, along with a half a teaspoon of lemon zest and 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. These are 2.5 cups of cherries. What I did is took a little paring knife, went around the edges of them, popped out the seed, and pitted those. And then I have 1 egg that I've beaten with 1 tablespoon of water. And then I have 2 peaches here that I've cut in half, took the seeds out, and then I sliced them into little, about 1/2-inch wedges, like that. All right, so I have my puff pastry here, and what I did is I have a piece of parchment. If you don't have parchment paper, what you can do is just get some all-purpose flour and just sprinkle the flour on your working surface so the puff pastry doesn't stick. I'm going to unroll the puff pastry here. This is just the first sheet. And I'm just going to take my egg wash here and just brush the first sheet with the egg wash, and I'm getting all the way to the edges. And then I'm going to unroll the second one. And lay this on top. And then with that, I'm going to roll it out till it's about 14 inches. It's rustic, so you don't have to do it perfectly. And then also, what you'll want to do is with your cookie sheet that you have, you want to either brush it with some melted butter or possibly even some Crisco. What I like to do is put a plastic bag on my hand, or if you have food service gloves, that's easier as well. And what you'll do is you'll just dip your hand either in the shortening and then just brush it on. And then when you're done, you can take that makeshift glove off. Really easy how to do that. Now it's about 14 inches to this part of my rolling pin, so I got a little ways to go. And this is really good with ice cream or even by itself, just a little bit warm. But it's a very good dessert. And that's about good. So then now what we're going to do with this, I'm going to get my cookie sheet here. Just going to lay it on there. And then we're going to refrigerate this to let it get cold again for about a half hour. And this would be a good time to prep your fruit if you don't have it prepped. But I'm just going to pop this in the refrigerator, let it get cold again, and then we'll start reassembling. I'm actually going to preheat my oven to 450 degrees. Okay, while we're waiting for the pastry to cool off in the refrigerator, what I did is I got a large bowl, and I'm going to add the sugar, the vanilla, the allspice, the lemon zest, and the lemon juice. Then I'm just going to give that a stir. And then once that's all combined, I'm going to take out 2 tablespoons. All right, and then now to this mixture, I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of flour. And what this is going to do is help with all the juices from the cherries and the peaches. It's just going to help soak that up so that juice isn't running all over. All right, that looks good as a crumbly mixture. And now I'm going to toss in 2.5 cups of cherries. Then all of those sliced peaches. Then I'm just going to toss those to coat. I'm going to try and get all that sugar mixture on everything here. I'm just going to split these peaches up. Now let me go get that puff pastry out of the fridge and I'll meet you right back here. Okay, I just got the puff pastry out of the refrigerator. Now what we're going to do with that is take it out. And we need to make a roughly about a 12-inch circle. So what I'm going to do is just trim up these edges. And what you can do with these is put some cinnamon sugar on them and just have those as a snack as well, as a treat for making this. And remember, it's rustic, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so now since we have this pastry cut, what we're going to do is put the filling in the center. We're going to leave about a 2-inch border, so then that way we can fold the edges up around it. The galette is, consider it like a rustic pie. And you could do different fillings. I've thought about doing like a mango ginger, something like that. I'm still working on some other flavors. But you could definitely do like a blueberry and lemon. I'm just scraping all the extra juice out of this bowl here. Don't want to waste any. All right, that should be good. I'm just going to sort of spread this around. That looks about good. And we're just going to fold these edges. If some of this pastry sticks on you, you can get a knife under there. We're just going to fold it. Then as we fold it, I'm just going to crimp the edge so it stays up together. And then that way it will also help retain some of those juices from the fruit. And feel free to adjust some of the fruit if it's not cooperating with you. And I like to use the parchment here, help with easy cleanup. And that's how we make the galette. So now we're going to put it into the oven at 450 for about 20 minutes and let that cook. And then what I'm going to do after that is have my reserve sugar mixture here, and I'm going to brush some of the egg on there and then sprinkle some of the sugar. And then I'm also going to put the butter on there now just to give it a richness. There we go with that. All right, so into the oven, and I'll see you back here when I brush on the egg wash. Oh, the timer just went off, so let's go get that galette so we can finish up working on that crust. So it's about halfway done of baking. And what I'm going to do is turn down the temperature of the oven to 350. And I'm just going to brush that egg wash on there. Just gonna move it in the center there a little bit. I'm gonna put some of the mixture on the crust. All right, so now that I have the sugar mixture on there, I'm going to put it back in the oven for about 30 to 45 minutes, just until it gets a little more golden and some of these juices set that are inside. So I'll see you back then. All right, it's been about 25 minutes. I'm going to check on that galette. Make sure that the juices are starting to thicken and the crust doesn't get too dark. So let me go grab that. All right. So you can see it starting to bubble around the edges and it's starting to thicken. The crust is getting a nice golden color, not too dark. So I would say that this is done. So what I'm gonna do is let it cool for a bit before I slice into it and just let everything solidify a little bit, so with the juices and everywhere. This is great served warm with a cup of coffee, or you can heat it up with a scoop of ice cream or just whipped cream. But this is a great rustic pie that looks elegant and it's very tasty. So once again, remember to be adventurous, try something new. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up and a like. Drop me a note in the comments below. And if you have any suggestions, I would like to hear from you. And thanks for watching.